Good day, YouTube. Today I want to talk about something that I was driving home just a few moments ago, making observations in my mind after I saw something today. And the title that came up to me, or the topic that came up to me, is breaking cycles of life. When I look back at my childhood, it was a good childhood with a lot of good things in there, but there was also a lot of challenges that were there. The cycle of alcoholism, of verbal or physical abuse, physical as in not sexual, physical as in violence, domestic violence. I saw that growing up. Another challenge was no communication, more of eruptions that would come out. So because of that, when I was a teenager, looking back, those were some difficult years for me, and I would erupt verbally. I share this because I want you to think about something, which is a cycle that you may have been exposed to, or a cycle, a negative cycle that you're in today. It begins with awareness. You have to know that this is in your life. And I'm speaking specifically about something negative. You can use whatever it is. Maybe it's addiction, drugs, alcohol. The list goes on and on. So pick something, if there is something in your life that you're a cycle, that you're in this cycle. And the good news is this. So with that said, I was raised by my mom. My parents were no longer in each other's lives by the age of 5, when I was 5. So I was raised by my mom and my sister. I didn't have a father influence, even though I have a father, and I would see him occasionally, but that relationship was really not the tradition. It was far from tradition. So I share that because I got to see that. I got to see physical violence. I saw alcoholism. And because of that, the good news is I was able to break those cycles. But it takes work, and it takes work today. I can't say I broke it and I'm free and clear, I'm good to go for the rest of my life. No, it takes work. It takes that awareness. It takes being deliberate of not repeating what you were exposed to. There's a saying out there that says, caught, not taught. In other words, you do things because you caught it, not because you were necessarily taught to hit someone or to be abusive of alcohol. So think about that. The good news, like I said, is I was able to break that. But I share this not to pat myself on the back, but to say, if you are aware and you want to break that cycle, you can do that. I feel like I've been married 26 years. My track record with my wife in our marriage speaks for itself. We've been challenged at times as well. At 15 years into our marriage, we went to marriage counseling for the first time. Great thing. Highly recommend that. If you're going to get married, get premarital counseling. Don't just check off the box, show up to the appointment or appointments and say, oh, that was a requirement. Get something out of it. As a father, I know that I love my children. I've been there for them. And yes, we've had challenges as well, but I would say it's up to my children to say, hey, my dad has been good, great, horrific, bad. It would be up to them. But I know I go to sleep at night knowing that I have been a really good father. I've listened to them. I've made adjustments. I've corrected them. I've taught them. And I think their track record as young adults speaks for itself. And we're blessed, my wife and I are blessed that we have 2 children who are grown, young, are doing great things in society, and are both married and are doing great things with their family. I say this topic's on my mind because when I go somewhere and I notice things and I see sometimes these people, unfortunately, are in that cycle. And it's not judgment, it's just an observation because I am no different. Now, I want to end it with this. My foundation has gotten better and better and better because my wife, 26 years ago, when we got married, every Sunday she would take our family. It was our son, myself, and her to church every Sunday. We would go there as a family, we would leave there as a family, but something changed eventually. And there were times where I didn't really want to go, but I went. Well, I thank her for this because eventually I developed my own relationship with God, my own communication, my own thoughts, my own prayers, and I've learned. I'm not in college anymore. I don't want to go to college. Those days are gone. But first of all, I love learning, but my relationship with my Christianity is ongoing. It's growing. I've been blessed to have a community outside of my growing up family of people, good people, who have mentored me, who have taught me, who have listened to me, who have corrected me, who have given me advice. And that has made my foundation really solid. Not that I have figured everything out. With that said, I'll give you an example. There are times I suffer with two things, anxiety and anger. And I'm aware of that, which is good. So I deal with that because going back to my teenage years, I would lash out at people and I didn't know how to communicate. Well, with my foundation getting better and better and better, that anxiety and anger can still be there. But I'm a work in progress like everybody else, to include yourself, where I can work on things, where I can catch myself before I react, where I can ask for help as needed, where I can communicate. And it's very easy for us as individuals to communicate celebrations. But what about the challenges? And that's the part where I love to bring up something that is on my mind, even if it doesn't go right. I have one part to do, and that is my part. I cannot control what somebody else does on the other side of my conversation when I bring up a challenge. So I want you to think of the things, maybe you're in a cycle, and if you are in a negative cycle, break it. It could be finances, it could be alcoholism, it could be addiction, it could be communication, it could be anger, it could be anxiety. We're all a work in progress. It's worth to invest in yourself first and foremost as you go forward. That way, when you deal with this, it affects other people in the positive way. Hope you're having a good day. Think about that. Take care.